We're here at a John McAlister's ice cream store, 31 flavors, Baskin-Robbins. You know, John, one thing is, I grew up in Chicago, and I do have a business here, but one thing about you is, you grew up here. Like you, how when you go?
I've been here I've lived here for 55 years.
So did you go to grade school here?
I went to Huff, I went to Graham, I went to AWALT, which is now Mountain View High. I raised a family in this town. I own a business in this town. And what's great about owning...
And then where did you go to college?
Oh, I went to school at Berkeley. Yes, got a business degree from Berkeley, became a CPA, and continued on with various endeavors. But really, the most rewarding job I've had, or business so far, is owning the Baskin-Robbins.
Yeah, it's unusual because you grew up here, and you're a business owner here.
I'm a business owner here, yeah. And Mountain View is a great town, and seeing the people that come in here, my interaction with my guests, has just reinforced how great a town it is. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to run for city council, is because the town is so generous and diverse and exciting, and I want to be part of it, and I want to help it grow up. I have deep roots in Mountain View. Because
your kids are...
And my kids are going to school. I'm raising my family here. And so those deep roots, the deep connection with Mountain View, just reinforces my enthusiasm to run for the city council, because I know with my perspective of the family and business and growing up and all that, it would be an honor to be on the city council, and I think I would do a great job because I bring that perspective of longtime resident, of raising a family here, of owning a business here, of helping the community. So we have a long history of getting the community involved, getting the kids involved. We do a lot of donations, fundraising for groups. In fact, we did so much stuff that Paul Fong, Assemblyman Paul Fong for the 21st District, had the California Assembly award us a plaque for Small Business of the Year for all the things that we give back to the community for.
Hey, actually, every year you give us a fantastic deal at the Old Mountain View Neighborhood Association, the ice cream social.
Oh, so yes.
For years, the ice cream has been coming
right here. Yeah, we do a lot of the neighborhood associations, and we make it so that they support us during the year. So this is one day of the year that we can come back and help support and say thank you back to the community and the neighborhood associations for supporting us.
And we've really appreciated the ice cream over the years and enjoyed it too.
Yeah, in fact, today I'm going to be going over to Old Mountain View and Mercy and Bush Street and do a ice cream social for the Old Mountain View neighborhood. It's beautiful weather. They're going to have a lot of nice flavors and entertainment. And I think this is our 5th year of helping out the community over there, saying thank you. And so it should be an exciting day out there.
Well, we'll be there, and we'll see you there.
And it's free ice cream. You can't beat that.
Well, they said you was high class, well, that was just a lie. You know, they said you was high class, well, it was just a lie. Well, you ain't never been around and you ain't no friend of mine.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jack Siegel. I'm thrilled to be here. This is a great place. This is an annual ice cream social, and I come every year. Love it. Love to just walk around, talk to the people. So I'd also like to introduce you to one of the people running for city council. This is John McAlister. He is also the owner of Baskin-Robbins. It's putting on the ice cream here. John, did you have any other comments?
No, I'm just agreeing with Jack that it's a beautiful day. It's great to have the community socializing together out here. And everybody, it's always great to see everybody enjoying their Baskin-Robbins ice cream.
Hello, welcome to Impact, the show about issues and people that affect Mountain View. My name is Carter Coleman. I am the community liaison for the Old Mountain View Neighborhood Association, and my guest today is John McAlister. He is a longtime resident and longtime commissioner on the Planning Commission, and he's running for City Council.
Hey.
Thank you for being a guest on our show.
Thanks for allowing me to be here.
So you'd be the only CPA on the City Council if we had, right?
Yeah, Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah, that would be, you'd actually know how to make sense of these numbers.
Well, yeah, I would try. That's for sure.
Yeah, so actually would come in handy. Well, when your first job out of school, you're an auditor, and
Well, first out of school, well, when I was going to school, I worked for my dad, who he was an entrepreneur. He started a company called McAlister Electronics. He used to be an engineer at Lockheed, and he liked being his own boss, so he started his own business. And then when I graduated, I passed the CPA exam, worked for a couple of years with a CPA firm, got the experience, got to be able to look at audit and tax. And I said, I'd really rather be in business for myself.
Nice good thing about auditors is that you really get to see a lot of different businesses.
A lot of businesses.
A lot of different businesses.
And then I also got to see taxes for individuals and for companies and large things. I wanted to be a little more independent, and I bought a business, Arco AMPM in Los Altos, had that for about 16 years. And now I own the local Baskin-Robbins on El Camino. I also own a daycare center in Los Altos.
Yeah, it's Stepping Stones,
Stepping
right?
Stones, yeah, and I have a couple of partners with that.
Yeah, where is Stepping Stones at?
It's located on the Block campus over in Los Altos.
These are a couple of family type of businesses. You got like the Stepping Stones, which is like a primary.
That's preschool, yeah. It starts with kids that are, if from 6 weeks old to 6 years old.
It's a nice market niche you have, and then they can go right to the
the
Baskin-Robbins.
Go right the other. Head them right over to ice cream.
Yeah,
everybody loves ice cream.
Right. That's a busy store. I'm always amazed at how many people stop by there.
It's a good location.
Yeah, it's
a great product.
Well, I have some questions from the neighbors, so I want to get into those first. So the first question I have is from Bruce Carney, and his question is. He wants to know how much experience you have as working as part of a collaborative decision-making group.
My most recent experience of collaborating is I'm on the Planning Commission. I was chair and I was vice chair, and that's where you need to work with people to always find the compromise to see what's best for the city.
Well, the next question is about the Planning Commission. Steve Napoli asked this question. I understand the Planning Commission formerly was took the role of zoning administrator, and so is that true?
Well, Mountain View's Planning Commission is a little different than the traditional Planning Commission. Traditional Planning Commission would look at if you were going to remodel your house, if you're going to put a restaurant in a particular area.
Maybe we can make it. Maybe explain maybe to the audience what exactly the Planning Commission does.
Okay. Well, what I was saying is about traditional versus now. Our Planning Commission, we're the Environmental Planning Commission for the city of Mountain View.
That's a little confusing because it doesn't really have much to do with the environment, right?
Yeah, well, when we go to these conferences, everybody else is Planning Commission, and Mountain View is the Environmental Planning Commission. Back in earlier times, I don't know exactly 20 years ago, 10 years ago, the city staff at that time and council decided that we wanted the commissioners to look at longer range plans, look at the general plan, look at zoning, look at precise plans, and leave the more detailed stuff to staff, hoping that would be a more efficient way of getting people issues resolved and quicker, so that it was more service-oriented by having staff answer a lot of these questions and then having the commissioners look at the bigger picture. And that's what we do now. We're in the process since 2008, we're working on the general plan, and we're listening to the community. So
you're key to the general plan. You're the go-to commission for that.
We are the point, right? We've started out that we listen to the community, we listen to all the stakeholders. We have 50, 60, 70 public meetings, and to get all this information.
70 meetings.
70 meetings, and I went to them all.
I know that I'm on the downtown commission, and I know how hard you guys work. It's the most time-consuming commission of all the commissions.
Yeah, it's very important because it helps map with the collaboration from all the stakeholders and the residents. Help us develop what they want for their city to be. And that's why we have all those meetings, to make sure we hear from everybody, give them a chance to see where we're going, get their feedback again, to evaluate that the process is working right. And so that's what the Environmental Planning Commission is working on right now.
And so you're really an advisory role for the city council, right?
Yeah, okay. Exactly. We can advise. We don't have any authority to vote to set any policy, but we do recommend, we do review policies, we review precise plans, and then we recommend it to the city council.
Okay, well, that's great. Let me move on here. I mean, well, the second part of Steve's question is, has anyone ever talked about like maybe taking back the role of the zoning, the role of the zoning administrator? Because the zoning administrator, he doesn't live in Mountain View, and he makes decisions for Mountain View. He's not a citizen of Mountain View, but the thing is, lots of people think that the planning commission, they're all residents, and they're in fact affected. Do you have any thought about would you think about taking back that role in the planning commission, the role of zoning administrator?
This last year, or in the last 2 years, the planning commission, the environmental planning commission, did propose some changes in the way the planning commission worked. And we spent 2 years talking with staff, talking with city council, seeing what other cities did, and to evaluate if the commission could be more helpful to the city council, to take some of the burden off of them, to maybe give another avenue for the citizens to be heard. And we did come to a compromise. We did come to a solution where the Environmental Planning Commission does listen to some gatekeeper processes, and the gatekeeper process is where a developer comes in and proposes to do something. And now the environmental planning gets to see it first. Beforehand, like in the Mint and Lumber, a lot of the process was involved was, before it got to the Environmental Planning Commission, it was already decided.
Yeah, no one knew. These big projects weren't even known about.
Right.
And it was kind of already decided.
And so now the Environmental Planning Commission is able to hear this and put their input in, and hopefully, and then we get the public input before it's really decided exactly where they're going. I mean, the big details of the project, and that's really great for the Environmental Planning Commission and for the citizens, the residents of Mountain View. But there are certain things where the day-to-day, the zoning administrator, I still believe, is a very efficient way for the resident of Mountain View to go in, do something over the counter, and get it resolved a lot quicker than going through, a cost and timely process of seeing the various commissions.
Deb Keller, she notes that the city is currently below the planning objective, the city's planning objective of 3 acres per thousand residents for parks. I think we've got about 2 acres now per 1,000 residents, and that's so we need to come up quite a bit. So we're adding all this density. We're having more people come here, but we're not getting the parks.
Right.
And you can just go to especially the bigger parks like Brinksdorf, very impacted over there. What do you think about this?
I think that parks, there was a comprehensive study for parks that the Park and Rec Commission did. And they came out and they picked certain areas that were high priority, and when money was available, they should go for it. And I think, I believe again that we should be proactive. With the greater density coming along, we need to get our parks now. We need to buy the property when it's affordable and when it's available. Now, I know some properties, they say, well, one area is over, has a lot more parks than the other. But we don't know how those areas are going to change over time. So we need to take advantage of when the property is available, buy it. And then develop that or put it on, whatever. But we need to be out there looking actively to buy property. Because the parks, yes, if you start building up too much, we're never really going to be able to get the parks, because the density is going to go quicker. We're expecting, as they mentioned, there are 1,500 new apartments over in the San Antonio area. Well, yeah, where's the land going to come? Where are they starting to do the parks? So I'm very proactive that we need to get on and get our parks into place.
Maybe the last opens. Well, I guess.
And we need to get parks that are of a critical mass, so that if you wanted to take your dog and throw a frisbee, or play some football, or put up a volleyball net. I mean, we have these nice mini parks, and they're very relaxing. People go there.
The pocket parks don't really satisfy, like an Eagle Park and places like that. You need larger parks where that. I know from the kids, your kids play soccer, and all the soccer fields are totally filled up.
And one thing that's very important to me with young children, since we have all these people at the parks, we got to have restroom facilities. you have these great parks, and then all of a sudden you got. But that's another.
Well,
story.
there's we could. I was hoping to get a restroom in downtown Mountain View,
Yeah.
and we had some funds that we had from the the redevelopment funds from the state
Yeah.
that we never used, but there's no facilities downtown. So the downtown residents are impacted because and we have to have porta potties.
Yeah.
Living only 2 blocks from downtown, you do not want big events with people with full bladders wandering around your house.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that? I mean, what's the possibility?
I think well, that what would be a great place to put them is in the parking structures.
Right.
I mean, I've seen other cities where they have the community facility inside it. You go down.
Palo
to
Alto's got that.
Palo Alto.
Yeah, Palo Alto's a lot of yeah.
Historic. Folsom? If you've been down Folsom, they have a historic area down in Folsom, and they put in a beautiful big parking structure, and there's the facilities right in there. So that so you get convenience, and you can take care of it. But yeah, I agree with you.
So, but I haven't really been. I've been hearing too much about like putting like facilities downtown like that. So I hope that comes.
Well, yeah, aren't you on the downtown?
We lost our money.
You lost all your money?
Jerry Brown took all our money away. So.
Well, that's a bummer. So what are you going to do then?
Well,
Well, work with the city. Maybe you get some funds. They're thinking about putting a new parking structure in. So
maybe I guess it costs about $1 million to put a bathroom in the one of the existing parking structures. So,
parking structures and parks. There's a solution there. You were talking about that. When I was going to school at Berkeley, they would have parking structures on the top floor. They would have turf fields, and a lot of intramurals were done up there. Soccer, baseball. You can do that for Mountain View.
This is what they do in Chicago. Grant Park, very famous park in Chicago. It's downtown. They've got a lot of parking underneath Grant Park, and it's a very nice. It's a huge park with a lot of parking, and the railroad goes underneath there, and it's on the lakefront. So that'd be a great idea. If we could find a way to pay for it. And here's a question from Bruce County again. How do you feel about, do you favor or oppose the high-speed rail coming through the corridor?
I believe in we need to have alternatives to move people around, transportation. That was somebody asked earlier about the quality of life. And to do that, we need to have different modes of transportation. And high-speed rail, in theory, I believe that's a good idea. Is it cost-effective? Right now, a lot of people don't think it is, but in 20, 30 years, 50 years, maybe it is. Does it affect the Mountain View? How it affects Mountain View? It could be detrimental. So there's still a lot more to be reviewed and to looked into before I say, is it great for Mountain View? But I think another mode of transportation is something that we really need to consider.
Okay. Well, I got another question about traffic, and this question was by from Eugene Cordero, and he asked, with the projected growth in Mountain View, what solutions do you have for reducing traffic congestion and improving the quality of life in areas such as El Camino Real and Shoreline?
I really believe that we need to work on a comprehensive transportation system, shuttle systems that go throughout all of Mountain View. Now, I know there's a lot of discussion about doing transportation as the hub of downtown Mountain View, where the train station and light rail is. But we got to broaden that and make sure that all parts of Mountain View has access to a public transit. I would like to see a grid even sort of set up for Blossom Valley, which is down at Cuesta and Miramonte, all the way up to the amphitheater, so that the people and the teenagers and the kids, they can come down to a safe spot, Blossom Valley, take a bus or shuttle all the way up to the amphitheater, concerts and so forth like that. But we really need to have a comprehensive system.
Well, how about bikes?
Well, bikes is very important. Bikes is good, but that you go back to talking about parking. Well, if we can get the cars off the streets, then that's going to make it safer for the pedestrians and for the bicyclists. So yeah, those are things. But right now, you go on El Camino, you don't really want to ride a bicycle around El Camino. You'd rather take a shuttle, or even California Avenue. There's a lot of traffic on that. So in certain areas, yes, let's maximize our bike lanes. In fact, there was a recent article in Sunset where they were saying that Mountain View was one of the top cities in the West Coast for.
Well, here's another question I got from recently. The Voice reported that the city is being flooded with proposals to develop 1,500 apartments. And however, today in Mountain View has 2/3 of its housing as rentals, whereas other communities in the Bay Area just have 1/3 rentals. And so Eileen McCullough and Bruce Carney ask, what can the council do to bring a balance between ownership housing and rental housing?
And we have to honor the rights of property owners. Now, that's why we have the general plan, we have zoning, so that we can try to influence and say, well, you know, this is where we want to put certain density issues or apartments or single-family homes. And that's how we can influence it. But it's really the developer and the property owner who comes along and says, this is what I want to do with my property. And we can say, yes, it fits in with the city, or the council can say it fits in with the city's ideas of what to improve it or not.
I mean, there's lots of resources that are shared. For example, like the next question is asking about like parking. Parking is going to be a bigger and bigger issue. I mean, not only are the residents from Old Mountain View concerned about this, but the people downtown. And like there's, it's getting harder and harder to park downtown.
Yeah.
But are you for metered parking downtown?
No.
No?
As a small business owner, I believe that you really need to have parking available, a large quantity of it, and accessible. If you start putting any kind of metering, you're going to discourage people, and we really need to get people to spend their money in Mountain View. And if somebody has its opportunity to go to something like Palo Alto, where there's no metering, but they don't have a lot of parking either, or Mountain View, where we have some great parking structures, which is very smart of the community to say, we need to put those parking structures in. No, we need to have free parking and accessible parking. Especially in my business with ice cream, I get the mother and the small kids. See, they're not going to be walking all the way around to find parking. They want to park right in front of the door and walk right in. And so it's very important to me. And I think residents, they shouldn't have to pay for parking in front of their own house. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that has a lot to do with how dense some people live in the neighborhood. Because if you have, if you have more demand than there is supply for parking, there has to be some kind of solution for that.
Well, that's where you put in another parking garage.
Yeah, right.
And the city of Mountain View is thinking about putting those in. And that's what's really nice about Mountain View. We're thinking ahead. We're being proactive and say putting in the parking garages. And then people can go. Los Altos, they've been parked. I had a business in Los Altos 20 years ago, and they were talking about parking structures back then. And they still haven't figured it out. So some people say there's great parking and there isn't, and
Because like Midtown Palo Alto, you can't. There's not a space to be had down, and you just can't do business down in Midtown down.
Yeah, so that's great for Mountain View. They can't do business there.
Right.
They're going to come to some place where it's convenient for them.
That's right. Well, I've always wanted to know how to make a really good ice cream sundae, and I think this would be a great time for you to like.
Great! I brought some flavors here and some toppings, and we can do it and show people what's out there to be done.
Maybe the folks can get some tips.
There you go.
So
let's do it.
All right.
Knocks down.
Now we're back to the educational segment of the show, and John's going to show us how to make an ice cream sundae.
So Carter, what we're going to do is we picked a couple of flavors for Carter. He likes vanilla. You can see he's a plain kind of guy. I got blueberry cheesecake because I just like the cheesecakes, the flavor done. Which one of those choices, or the banana, or we also have what was called a brownie sundae. Which topping would you like to start with?
Well, I think the banana might be kind of interesting. Banana and pineapple. I think I'm going to go tropical.
Go tropical.
Yeah.
So what you do is, easy. Just pop it off. This is the proper technique that we've learned from Baskin-Robbins, so that your hands never touch it. How much banana would you like?
Well, that's pretty good.
Okay. And that's also a banana boat right down there. And then you go ahead and take some pineapple in there. Usually what I do is what we do at the store is we put on the whipped cream because I really like my whipped cream.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so go ahead, shake it up.
All right.
Put it down.
All right. There you go.
Okay.
Can't have too much whipping cream.
No, you can never have enough whipped cream. I mean, that's what I usually have the more whipped cream than I have ice cream.
So
Okay, what else? Anything else? You got to top it off with a cherry. I mean,
Okay, sure.
That's the classic.
That's key, right?
You got to
right.
have the classic
all right.
cherry.
Yeah. All right.
Whoa, there you go.
Well, you'll have to taste this.
Let's test into it. Is that good stuff? That is.
You can't go wrong.
Nope. Mother can't make it any better.
So we've heard from the residents of Mountain View. Now we'd like to hear from another resident of Mountain View.
Four-legged resident. So we talked about a couple of issues that were important to us, and Max is already talking to us that he wants to get involved. So we have parks that are important to the residents, neighborhood preservation, dog parks, transportation, and budgets. So Max, we want you to pick what's important to you. So go down there and pick what's important to you. What is the most important issue that you have going? I know they're pretty complex. You can't figure out one item that looks important to you?
Well, Max is a picky eater, it looks like.
Well, I don't know. He's contemplating. He's thoughtful.
Ah,
Here he goes.
he's
Here he goes. He's looking at parks. Parks. Oh, is it parks was important to you?
Parks is the...
Is parks? I know you like those parks. Yep. So Max thinks parks is the most important issue of his.
Thank you again for coming in, John.
And Max?
Yeah, and thanks, Max, for coming in. You're doing your job.